Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's impromptu edition of the Whitfield Report. And I'm your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live here from South Florida. And, what can I say? We don't do Saturday shows very much here anymore. Especially not impromptu ones like this on the weekends, but it is a special Saturday, folks, because it is Pride Month once again. It is June 1st, and there's no way I would miss this opportunity to talk about probably one of the most overrated, I don't even want to call it like a holiday, because that's not what it is. It's a cultural trend. And, we always end up talking about Pride Month on the show eventually in June, here on the show. So I figured we would just, start it early this year and kind of get it over with. And, it is June 1st, so we'll see what happens. But before we do that, while we're waiting for people to come in, as usual, ladies and gentlemen, you can purchase my book here, The Fourth Estate, available on Amazon, part of the Shadows of Deception saga. We've had pretty great sales on the book for the past couple months, ever since the launch in March. So I really appreciate everyone for buying the book and supporting my endeavors as an author. Really do appreciate it, folks. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it, shall we? And I figured I would start this episode off with kind of lighten the mood a little, so to speak. I think Norm Macdonald actually, he had his anecdotes and his thoughts about Pride Month and the whole, gender-neutral bathroom thing, more specifically. So I thought, what better way to start off Pride Month than with some wise words from the one and only Norm Macdonald, the King. Rest in peace. He was awesome. This is an excerpt from Norm's last comedy special, his final one that came out on Netflix a few years ago, in which he talked about gender-neutral bathrooms. So yeah, let's take a look at this.
As a little boy, I went up to my dad. I said, "Dad, I think I'm a little girl." And he said, "I thought you had a cock." I was like, "Oh yeah." You got me. Now, in other ways, my father was very progressive. For instance, we had a gender-neutral bathroom. You know, I used it, my brother used it, my sister used it, my mother used it. Anybody, didn't matter what gender you were. So that was his good side, you know. His evil side was this crazy idea he had that having a cock had something to do with being a boy. I don't even know, you know, where you could come up with such an idea. Nowadays, we can't even wrap our heads around that kind of thinking. But people used to actually think that. And that's something. Now, the only reason I tell you that is to show how hateful we were back then.
So that was the great and powerful Norm Macdonald, and he will be missed absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. And that special was released like in 2021, I think, on Netflix. And you know, still gold, Norm. Still gold. We miss you, and we're sure that you're laughing at everything is going on in the world. I would have loved to have heard what Norm had to say about the whole, you know, OJ Simpson death thing. I'm sure he would have had something to say about it. You just know he would have, if he had still been alive. And in fact, like I saw several headlines and whatnot from the Babylon Bee, you know, with like jokes about him coming back for one day only to do OJ jokes. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a way to, you know, that's just a warm up. And again, this show isn't going to go for too long. I just kind of wanted to do a bit of an impromptu show. But I would like to read this post of mine from Substack, which I wrote a year ago, because as far as like what my opinion on Pride Month is, people ask me this every year. And so last year, I decided to write a blog post about it and just put it out there for people to read. And I've literally like copied and pasted this for people a couple of times today, but I figured it would go. I figured it would you know, it's worth going over again, because yeah, Pride Month. What you have to understand is I don't hate gay people. I have gay friends. My whole criticism of June being Gay Pride Month is it's overrated. That's literally been my criticism of Gay Pride Month for like the last decade. I was willing to kind of like not go along with it, but I understood their case a little bit more before gay marriage got legalized. But like now, they basically have everything they wanted, right? So that's been my whole issue. Is because they have everything that they quote unquote said they wanted initially, and yet they still feel the need to complain. So this is from my blog post on Substack, Whitfield's Report. A nuanced conversation about Pride Month from a conservative libertarian point of view. And by the way, like when I wrote this, the Libertarian party hadn't gone bonkers yet either. But you know, be that as it may, yeah, I wrote this a year ago. So let's continue on. Also, hello to Rowan Dip uh, as well. So greetings. You're early, and you're the only one in chat too. So, and you're making good points in chat too. So, starting off here, a nuanced conversation about Pride Month from a conservative libertarian point of view. Happy Corporate Virtue Signaling Month. And that's really all it is, ladies and gentlemen. So, the month of June represents many things. For kids, it is the official start of summer vacation. For dads, Father's Day. And for suburban neighborhoods, backyard barbecues. Additionally, it is Pride Month for the LGBT community and its ever-growing list of letters and acronyms. If an extraterrestrial being were to visit the USA in June, they could easily think that the month is exclusively dedicated to Pride based on the overwhelming amount of corporate virtue signaling from big multinational corporations and their shareholders, rivaling even the commercialization of Christmas in June. As a conservative libertarian, I want to be clear from the start that when it comes to matters of sexuality and personal expression among legal consenting adults, I take a more libertarian stance. I believe that legal consenting adults should be free to express themselves however they wish without forcing their values and beliefs upon others, and this belief extends to religion as well. Meaning, I feel the same way about religious types too. By all means, express yourself. Just don't force it on people, and also leave kids alone with the Pride Month thing as well. That did not need to be said a few years ago, but interestingly enough, you know, you got to say that now. So, however, my issue with June being entirely dedicated to quote unquote Pride is that at this point it seems shallow and superficial, becoming another excuse for big businesses to say, we care so long as you keep giving us money. It begs the question, would these same companies even care about Pride Month if they couldn't monetize it? Anheuser-Busch's recent campaign seems to indicate that the answer is resounding sounding no. And boy folks, a year later, that is true. God, it was a year ago that the whole Dylan Mulvaney controversy happened, and Anheuser-Busch basically shit the bed and tanked their stock as a result of it. Well, I won't dive further into the Bud Light controversy as it has been extensively covered by media outlets and political pundits. I do want to point out that the backlash to Bud Light's Dylan Mulvaney campaign and the resulting plummeting sales for Anheuser Bush's entire beverage line indicates a general sense of virtue signaling branding fatigue across the political landscape in America. It is important to note that many individuals who identify as gay over the age of 30 seem to be over the prominence of Pride Month. They express their awareness with its commercialization and perceive it as losing its meaning and significance, which is true, by the way. Considering these factors, it might be worth exploring the idea of having a Pride Week instead of a Pride Month. This approach could still showcase the LGBT community and their achievements, while allowing other aspects of the month of June to receive attention as well. This way, the celebration of Pride wouldn't overshadow other important events and milestones occurring during the same period. Which, by the way, folks, did you know that June is Men's Mental Health Month? Because, believe it or not, I didn't until today. But friend of Right to Offend Media and friend of the Whitfield Report, Jacob Airy, actually wrote a blog post about that, and I will get to that blog post shortly there after this. So stay tuned. Let's continuing on. Pride Month has undoubtedly played a vital role in raising awareness about the struggles and accomplishments of the LGBT community. It has helped foster conversations about equality, acceptance, and the importance of diversity. However, it is essential to recognize that societal dynamics change over time, and what may have once been a powerful and necessary movement can evolve into something that requires reevaluation. From a conservative libertarian point of view, it is crucial to strike a balance between personal freedom and social harmony, respecting the rights of individuals to express themselves while considering the broader societal implications is a complex challenge. Finding this balance will allow for a more nuanced and inclusive conversation about Pride Month that goes beyond superficial virtue signaling. As we navigate the future, it is essential to approach discussions about Pride Month with an open mind, considering different perspectives and striving for genuine understanding. Only through respectful dialogue and mutual respect can we hope to find common ground and promote a society where individual liberties and collective well-being coexist harmoniously. And there you have it, folks. That is my piece from last year regarding Pride Month. I like I said, I like to share that around every once in a while, and I thought with it being June 1st, it would be a good way to, kick off the month and to really, for me, this is the beginning and ending of the whole Pride Month conversation. This right here is the beginning and end for me. Now, folks, notice that at the end of the post, I say it's important for respectful dialogue and mutual respect to occur. All right. However, when a transgender individual, because this really boils down to not even the gays or the lesbians, it really, when it comes down to it, my issues are with a lot of these trans activists. And I know not all of them are like this. We even have a few that listen to the show. But when I see these radical activist types who are saying my pronouns are X, Y, and Z, and sometimes that's literally what they say, and you must refer to me as that, or otherwise you're a bigot. When they start forcing their stuff, as many of these trans activists do, they're not being respectful, and they obviously have no respect for you because they're trying to force their views on you. And this is what it really comes down to, right? If they weren't forcing pronouns on other people and also saying just blatantly sick things like all your, we're going to turn all of your, kids gay and whatnot. If if it if it weren't for the loudmouth activist types doing all of that, most straight people, and I venture to gather that most gay people who have become disenfranchised with Pride Month wouldn't have an issue. But it's the constant pushing of boundaries and invading others people's personal space, sometimes literally, that is absolutely pissing people off. There's really no other way to put it. I see Max and Chibi are in chat, so welcome. Max, you are free to jump in if you want. I did put the link in the description. Not quite ready for an ad read yet, but while I do have you here, folks, I do want to point out real quick that in addition to Rumble, I'm also streaming this on my locals community, which is my paywall community. Why am I doing this? Well, because I have a feeling that, even though we're on Rumble and, even though they are a great platform for free speech, I just want a secondary place for this stream to get backed up should certain activist types try and cancel me for this. You just don't know. Max says, I am buried in Sandwich Maker's promo. Turns out they prepare a lot. Well, that's not surprising. Meanwhile, I just got a bug up my ass to do this stream. And, here we are. So, and also, you know, like I said, things are getting a bit ridiculous, so I figured it would be good to talk about this. Chibi says, I'm seeing friendships breaking up over this month. Seriously, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. Like I said in the article, we do need to have open, respectful dialogue and mutual respect. It sounds corny as fuck, but it's true. And so, because these people don't want that, right? It's no wonder that like friendships would be breaking up, and in some cases, even relationships. Yeah, and Max is also right. It's all corporations and political activists getting people all wound up. Yeah, that's what it is. So, we talked about Pride Month, ladies and gentlemen. I played the clip from Norm, but I want to bring something else to your attention. Did you know that June is also Men's Mental Health Month? Because to be honest, I did not know that. And I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't know that. But, that's what happens when you have a giant corpo, media machine that puts, Pride Month in front of everything. People just get bombarded with, all this propaganda, and we forget that like other stuff happens during the month of June. So shout out to one of my fellow authors, although he's in the fantasy and science fiction world, and fellow podcaster Jacob Berry, who I've known probably for a decade, and I'm going to be on his show in the next few weeks to promote the Shadows of Deception saga. But he runs a pretty great pop culture blog called Studio Jake Media, where he mainly does like movie reviews and pop culture news. But he also does in-depth think pieces like this, and I read this earlier, and this is kind of what motivated me to do this. So the headline is why men's mental health month is essential. Yep. So June is Men's Mental Health Month. This is an important and necessary thing to remember. Mental health is just as important for men as it is for women, and men must recognize and address their mental health needs. Many men feel hesitant to seek help due to societal expectations or personal beliefs, but it is essential to prioritize mental well-being. Men are often told that their needs have to take a back burner to members of the other sex or to prideful communities. But men must check on themselves. For a time, it seemed that society told men that they just have to tough it out when facing problems. But not everything is so cookie cutter when it comes to mental health. It is okay to seek help. If you do not think that this is important, considering the old toxic masculinity trope was repeated in the media, the entertainment industry, and even within the medical establishment. We must remember that toxic masculinity is not inherent in any particular interest or activity that men may have. Instead, toxic masculinity refers to a set of harmful behavior and attitudes that are often associated with traditional masculine norms, such as aggression, dominance, and emotional suppression. When accusations of toxic masculinity are directed at men's interests or activities, it can be detrimental to their mental health and well being. These accusations may lead to feelings of shame, guilt, or inadequacy, which can contribute to mental health struggles such as anxiety, depression, or low self esteem. All of which, by the way, yours truly struggled with in my teens and even into my early 20s. In fact, just last year, I was seeing a therapist for some family relationship issues I was having. And it helped me through, helped me to get clarity on some issues that I was struggling with, and I'm a lot better for it. So just kind of putting that out there. I know it's the internet, and I'm sure some people will ridicule me for that. But I'm just putting that out there. If I can seek help, then anyone can and should if they need to. So continuing on, it is crucial to separate the concept of toxic masculinity from the interest in activities that men may enjoy. By recognizing that interests and hobbies are not inherently toxic, men can engage in these activities without fear of judgment or shame. Instead, it's essential to focus on promoting healthy expressions of masculinity that prioritize emotional intelligence, empathy, and self-awareness. Which, again, folks, going back to a few weeks ago, like, this is one of the things that, like, Max and I and Morpheus were all saying. This right here is, like, why the Boy Scouts was so beneficial to all of us. All three of us have talked about how we struggled as young men growing up in various different ways. Max didn't have a supportive family, at all, at least not his parental unit, and he's been open about that. Not only did I grow up with cerebral palsy, my parents went through a really bad divorce when I was a kid, and because of the fault of that, it affected my relationship with my biological father, which has gotten better, but it's still not perfect. And so Boy Scouts for, for both of us and even for Morpheus, was really an anchor for us, I think. But anyway, where was I? I did the same thing of going off on a tangent. Oh yes. Instead, it's essential to focus on promoting healthy expressions of masculinity that prioritize emotional intelligence, empathy, and self-awareness. In doing so, we can create a more inclusive and supportive environment for men to explore their interests in hobbies without fear of being labeled as toxic or harmful. This can ultimately contribute to improved mental health and overall being for men. When it comes to seeking help, there are several options available, such as therapy, counseling, ministry, or support groups. Therapy and counseling can provide an opportunity to discuss personal issues with a professional. They can provide a supportive and non judgmental environment for men to explore their emotions and experiences. Uh, Cognitive behavior therapy, for example, can help men identify and challenge negative thought patterns that may be contributing to their mental health struggles. Ministry can focus on the spiritual side of what you are going through as long as you have a pastor or priest that you trust. Support groups can offer a sense of community and understanding uh, from others who have faced similar challenges. In addition to therapy, um, hobbies and activities can serve as a healthy outlet for men to express themselves and find enjoyment in life. Whether it is participating in sports, pursuing creative endeavors, or engaging in volunteer work, or podcasting and writing books, uh, uh, hobbies can offer a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that can contribute to overall well being. As an aside, I've noticed on social media if a guy says he is struggling, the comment section can be uncaring, mean, or downright cruel. Let us remember that we all have struggles and to be good to each other with encouragement, honor, and kindness. Well, I would say that mostly, but every once in a while, like you do need to give your buddies shit about stuff too. Uh, Granted, if you have friends that you could do that with, right? Prioritizing mental health is essential for men, as it can lead to improved relationships, increased self awareness, and a greater sense of well being. By seeking help when needed, engaging in hobbies, and prioritizing self care, men can take steps to improve their mental health and overall quality of life. Uh, Geez, Jacob, I had no idea that you wrote this long, but I appreciate it. Remember, having men with a grasp on their mental health is crucial for everyone, and seeking help when needed is a sign of strength and resilience. Uh, that is why June is important. If you are another guy is struggling with their mental health, don't hesitate to reach out for support. Together, we can build a more aware and understanding world for all. And then this is just, promo stuff here. But I think that that's a pretty good piece, actually. And I hadn't read it all the way through. But it it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to do an ad read. Our sponsor for this episode is It's not. It's not popping up. It says I'm ineligible for this one. Okay. Weird. Guess we don't have any sponsors from Rumble today. So instead, I will go ahead and once again say that March was actually a pretty successful month for the Fourth Estate. So let me fix my camera real quick. And so you guys can actually see. There we are. The beautiful cover art here. I think it is one of the best things I've written, if I do say so myself. Thanks for everyone who purchased the Fourth Estate. And you can also buy the first edition of Shadows of Deception here on Amazon as well. In paperback and ebook and audiobook. So thanks to everyone who has supported my endeavors as an author, and thanks for supporting me. And for those who are wondering, I will possibly have the pre-order page for the Dogs of War set up pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. And also, I confirmed today that good friend and fellow author, friend of the show, Eric Bishop, will be joining Max and I live on Tuesday, June 18th for the launch of his book, Breach of Trust, which you can order on Amazon right now. And his first book, The Body Man, is actually on sale this weekend for $2.99 as an ebook on Amazon Kindle. So if you haven't read any of Eric's work yet, I highly recommend you do so. It is well worth the time to read it, ladies and gentlemen. And he's a great author, and I'm looking forward to having him back on once again to discuss things with him and his latest endeavor. So, and yes, sponsored by Sam's awesome shirt, which, by the way, I do wear this in the summer every week or every weekend. And you want a pride flag? This is my pride flag, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only pride flag that matters. So, well, unless anyone else has anything to say, I think we might wrap this up. I do know that Apex said he might jump in here, and I do see you in chat, sir. So if you want to jump in, feel free to. I put the link in the group chat. But if not, I guess we'll call it a night. And be sure to tune in to the Sandwich Makers tonight at 10 p.m. Please go and support the Sandwich Makers over on the RTO media channel over on Rumble. Because if you don't, See, Max like keeps threatening to hobble me if I don't finish the Dogs of War by the end of the summer. But what you guys don't know is Maxine Sand has like threatened to hobble Max if he does a bad job of like operating the controls for the sandwich makers, which is probably why he's not here now. They probably like literally have him chained to his desk with shackles and whatnot. And Maxine has her cattle prod out. Probably. Or maybe her like maybe she has one of those like fly swatter things. Yeah. That you like that you can zap flies with. So no, it's not Dip. It's not like it's not kink shaming for Max. It's torture. Like, do you think Maxine would like do something that Max would actually enjoy? No. She's gonna torture him if he doesn't do a good job producing, and we can't have that. So but in all seriousness, tune into the Sandwich Makers. I have no idea what they're going to talk about tonight, and that's just fine with me. But of course, I don't know what I'm talking about on my show like until half an hour before most times. So you ladies are putting this show to shame by doing show prep, which now motivates me to do show prep. But I digress, and I'm rambling. So I'm going to end tonight's show. Thank you all for tuning in, especially with, no notice. And thanks to everyone who has supported. Real quick, if you guys are interested in doing more Saturday streams, if this is something you guys like, I may bring back the Saturday stream for subscribers on Locals, which is kind of Rumble's Patreon alternative. I do know I have a few members who are subscribed to that. Well, mainly Dino Nuggies, and then I have some Substack subscribers as well. So if you guys are interested in like maybe like a free for all Friday or like an open line Friday, and you would be willing to subscribe for $5 a month, let me know, and we might actually put together a Saturday show. So just something to think about. Until then, tune into the Sandwich Makers podcast tonight, and I'll be back on Monday with a very special guest who, believe it or not, is something of a sandwich maker herself. But I'm not going to reveal any secrets just yet, so tune in Monday on the Whitfield Report, and that will be a pre-recorded episode, but I'll have it posted here probably around 7 p.m. or so. Anyway, folks, take care, good night, and have a good rest of your weekend.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com. and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.